ang pinakabongga, punong-puno ng fun and excitement. Itong In na In, iba ang dating. The new TV experience is here. Hataw Pinoy Chicago. It will change your viewing habit. It's hip, sassy, ang galing-galing. Hataw Pinoy Chicago.
What's up, y'all? This is Apple, the Apple from the Black Eyed Peas, and you're watching Hataw Pinoy Chicago. Yeah!
Ngayon, sino naman po kaya ang ating top 1? Magandang hapon po muli sa inyong lahat and welcome back to Hataw Pinoy Chicago. Ngayong hapon po, we are really so blessed dahil ang inspiration ng ating pamagat na Hataw Pinoy ay nandito kasama natin. Walang iba kundi ang manganganta ng Hataw na, Mr. Gary Valenciano.
Hello, Alpha.
Gary?
I want to greet everyone watching right now. It's so good to be back in Chicago.
And we are so excited that you're back here.
Well, I'm excited too. So,
And you know that our show, our theme song is Hataw na, di ba?
yun nga eh, sabi nga sa akin, so that word hataw na is a street name. It's a street word that means to go for it. And if you think it's good for you and for people around you, diyan kayo humataw.
That's right. Okay, because people have been asking us, what does Hataw mean, you know? So
even
what does-
in Manila, I did something for a group of world leaders, and the Filipinos asked me to do hataw na as a theme to the whole thing. And so when I was singing it, I made some of the world leaders sing it, and they were singing hataw na. And what is hataw na? And I was able to explain to them what it meant. And it's basically it, you know, just going for what is right, not giving up.
That's true. And that's our battle cry here in Chicago, you know, uniting the community and, you know, forging ahead for
Yeah.
common purpose, you know, teaching our kids the culture and heritage of the Filipino, as well as talagang hataw talaga,
Yes.
talagang pagbubutihin natin because we're out here in the States and we're far away from our families and relatives back home, di ba?
True.
And Gary V, I know, Gary, you're a role model to so many young Filipino Americans here in Chicago and the Midwest, ano? And I'm sure that a lot of them already know how you started your career, but some of them, we were talking about it earlier during the break, that you said it's hard work, right?
It's hard work. It
Can you
really
tell
is.
us more about it?
Well, I started out 22 years ago in Manila.
Sandali pa lang yun, no?
Oo nga eh, parang kahapon lang eh. Pero yan, 22 years, and ang sinabi ko, binanggit ko kay Alpha kanina na it's not easy because you know, when you watch television and you see the likes of Sarah Geronimo and Sharon Reyes and Eric Santos, these people work almost every single day. Kumbaga yung parang nightlife nila, yung oras with friends and all, sometimes that has to really be sacrificed in order to earn the respect and earn the living. That is what they need at this moment in time. But when you have your heart in the right place, when you know where the gift has come from, when you understand that if you are a singer and you're chosen to come out on television, that there are so many others who are probably better than you, who look better, who are younger, taller, bigger, but you're the one that's chosen. So when you understand that there is a very special purpose to why you've been given that, that for me is the biggest asset that you can have, more than the talent. Because there are some out there who can't even sing and are
Yeah.
chosen and yet create an impact. So,
That's true.
you know, you have to remember that. It's hard work, love what you do, and to remember that before anything, don't think of it as a racket. You think of it as a blessing, because in the process you'll be able to bless others too, and then end up perhaps even becoming a role model. So,
Very well said. Thank you very much. I'm sure a lot of our viewers would take something away from that and learn from it, you know.
well, I sure hope so. I sure hope so.
Gary, another question that I have is that you've done almost everything. You've done movies, you've done theater, you've done live performances. And sa akin dito, naiisip ko, di ba it's really hard for you to do transitions between doing movies and how do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, the movies came into the picture only because there was a demand. At that time, there was no TFC.
Okay.
There was no ABS-CBN was fairly new, so not every region in the Philippines had coverage of the channel yet.
Okay.
So the last movie I did, which was more than 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, the demand to come out and the recording companies would love it because every time I would come out in a movie, it would be shown in the most remote
Right.
areas in the Philippines with my music being played.
Right, right.
But now, somehow, I guess because of cable television and the music video channels that come out on television, people now get to hear and get to see the artists not portraying a character like in a movie, but being themselves and shot in a different way to come up
Yes.
with a music video. And people like that. People enjoy that. So it's the transition from going from movies to concerts and then going back and all. It wasn't very difficult then because then there were certain people that were positioned to handle that part of me,
Okay.
marketing and imaging and all that.
What about theater? I know that you appeared in
Oh, I love theater.
my favorite play of all time, which is Joseph the Dreamer. Yeah, and you work with trumpets, right?
Yes, I did.
So how was it for you? Can you tell us about it?
Oh, what an experience it was to play Joseph the Dreamer. It's a fantastic, real life, true story of a brother sold by his brothers. You know, and to it's for me it's really a story about forgiveness and mending of broken hearts and relationships that seem so impossible to come back together again. But to move from being a concert performer to a theater performer, I think was less of a transition than it was from singing to the movies, because in theater your actions have to be a little
Yeah,
bigger, you know,
Yes,
because
that's
people
right.
at the top have to see you.
Yes, that's correct.
As compared to movies where you move too much and in a big
You look
screen people look
unnatural.
like you're watching a tennis match.
Uh-huh.
But to be on the stage playing a role that you know is going to have an impact on people watching, for me that was one of the best things, one of the best decisions I've done in my entire career was to do the musical called Joseph the Dreamer in Manila.
So what's the next step for Gary V? You know, you've had awards galore. I know that you have a family, a beautiful family, and Jillian, you have 3 wonderful children, and you've been blessed by the Lord so much. I mean, I could see clearly that you're just oozing with blessings right now. You know, what's the next step for Gary V?
Well, before anything, I want to say that everyone oozes with blessings. It's just that sometimes we fail to recognize it. You know, I guess the next step for me would be to probably go back to school, finish a course in audio engineering, maybe film scoring, and then applying it back home, and really giving back to the industry what it has given me. I'll never be able to equal that, but if I can help others, achieve what I've achieved, or maybe even far more than that, then I think that would be okay too.
All right. So I know that you have a lot of fans, young and old alike, who are watching right now. But I'd like you to say something to our young viewers,
Okay.
who are aspiring to become the next Gary V, or
Okay.
to walk in your footsteps, so to speak. So what would your advice be to them?
Well, to all the young ones watching right now, I always say this to the young that I come across, and I always tell them that I don't think ever in the history of the world there has ever been a generation that is as physically fit, as mentally alert, and yet as emotionally scarred. And I have young kids too. I have a 20-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And I see what they go through, and I see everything that the world offers them. Everything is at the snap of a finger or a click of the finger. It's right there in front of you. But not everything is good. Everything that you take in that you think is good may not be beneficial. So maybe to boil it down, or to sum it all up, I just like to say that you are a generation that has a great purpose up ahead. And for me, when you make the right decisions in life, it only becomes perfect. A right decision only becomes perfect when you understand that it has gone through, or you have lifted it up first to the Lord Jesus Christ, simply because He wants what's best for you. It may not be what you want, but it may be what you need. And you may not understand that now, but perhaps you can believe me when I say this was never a dream to be an entertainer, to be in the industry for 22 years. It was never a dream. It was never in my plans. It just fell into place. Even before I made Him take over. And then when I did, then that's when the ball started really bouncing, and just things started turning. Now, it's been 22 years and still, like what she said earlier, doors are being opened up, windows are being opened up, some are being closed. But when he opens up a window, it's into a new world, a new chapter altogether. And to the young, the words I'm telling you are not deep. They're simple, they're easy to understand, and I know that you feel them in your hearts because you know that there's something out there that's waiting for you. Try. I dare you. Try and make him take control of it first and see where he'll take you, because he'll never let you down. He'll never leave you nor forsake you.
Very well said. I don't
Thank
want to add to that anymore. I think that was a very, very good ending to our interview this afternoon. Gary V, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the cast and crew of Hataw Pinoy, of course, the entire Chicagoland. We wish you all the best. And ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to check out more about Gary V, well, log on to his website. It's www.garyv.com. And you'd see all the information that you want to know all about him. So wag po kayong alis, babalik po agad ang Hataw Pinoy Chicago. Of course, Mr. Gary Valenciano is not just a very talented dancer, a wonderful and talented singer, but he also speaks from his heart, di ho ba? Madami tayong natututunan every time that he shares with us his thoughts. And so, to you, Gary V, we wish you all the best and God bless you too.